Welcome back, everybody, to week 15 of the Fumble forecast. So that's what you wanted to see, huh? Also, the Vikings have gone ahead and clinched a playoff berth, but find out more on the Fumble forecast. Welcome back, everybody, to a very, very fantastic week of the Fumble forecast, coming off of the Eagles having, I would argue, their single biggest win of the entire season. They had to play against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was the battle for Pennsylvania. Only comes once every 4 years. And from what I understand, I didn't verify this for fact, but from what I understand, the Steelers have not beaten the Eagles since like the 1960s.
In Philadelphia.
Yeah, so get fucked, kiddos. But yeah, what I was saying at the beginning, so that's what you wanted to see, huh? Jalen Hurts had some smart remarks to give in the post-game press conference. Leading up to this, we had the total bullshit nonsense beef that the media wanted to play off between him and AJ Brown that didn't ever exist, and anyone with two brain cells to rub together knew didn't exist. But nonetheless, people have to get clicks, so everybody was talking about it. Obvious bullshit. AJ Brown and Devonta Smith both had 100-plus receiving yard games. Jalen Hurts had his single best showing of the entire season. And, man, Saquon Barkley still had a good game. I think he hit 70 yards, right? Or was it like 73 or something like that? But, oh my God.
65.
65 yards. Okay. Got you. I was pretty close. But I feel like this is the best game that we've had from the Eagles all season. Not just because the passing game was crazy or anything, but it kind of confirms a little bit of a theory that I've had throughout this season. Everybody's bitching, oh my God, why is the passing not happening? Oh my God, where's all the passing? Oh my God, passing. I think that they were leaning on Saquon, who was hot as fuck, to take care of everything for the first half of the season. And now I think they're starting to show off their passing game because I think they wanted to save all of their passing game stuff until closer to the playoffs and the end of the season. I think that this was a strategy move. How are you feeling, Marky?
I can't. There's only two real problems I want to address. One, I love him. He has been great for the team since we picked him up. Jalen Carter
We need to talk about this.
needs to control himself. Yes, you get heated. Fine. It's a game. It's an important game, too, because we still haven't clinched the division. We've only clinched a playoff berth. And we're still aiming for that number one seed. It's an important game to win. I saw a comment earlier that he's been held all these times and finally his frustrations boiled over.
It doesn't matter. Oh, you good? You good? The thing is, we didn't just see him on that play. He didn't just commit a personal foul, right? He crashed out. Like, my man went crazy. He just fucking slapped him around. It was insane. You gotta have better control than that.
You were lucky they decided it was after the punt so that they didn't get the ball back. Is that's 15 yards. That's a fresh set of downs that could have that would have kept your ass out on the field and given the Steelers another chance.
I thought that they did get another chance after that.
No, they decided it was after the punt, so they only pushed us back to the 1 yard line.
Hmm. Oh, yeah, you're totally right. I remember
Yeah. And you know what? Like you have your props. Brother, you have been an incredible playmaker this season. But you gotta get that under control, especially as we're getting closer into the playoffs. Mistakes like that decide games.
that. Yeah. You can't be crashing out like that. Like, bro, we can't even make the excuse that the CTE demons are speaking to him. He hasn't even had a concussion yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you cannot be crashing out hardcore like that.
And the only other thing, because this was a point before the before the bye week, the turnover
Here,
rate.
why don't you go cough and recover yourself? I'll take over for a second. Drink some fucking water. There we go. So, my whole thing with this game that I really want to talk about, a lot of people have been bringing this up left, right, and center. Jalen Hurts fumbled the ball. Jalen Hurts didn't protect the ball well enough. Motherfucker had a broken finger, first of all. But second of all, that wasn't Hurts being bad. That was TJ Watt making an amazing play. Dude just punched the ball directly. Well, and Jalen's head a little bit too. Like, it kind of got him in the chin a little. But that was just TJ Watt being a superhuman. That wasn't Jalen Hurts making a bad decision. Honestly, in the situation there, watching it on replay, he made the absolute correct decision. He did the right thing. It just happened to not work out for them in this specific circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
You recovered? You back now?
A little bit. I'll probably go in a couple minutes.
All right, take back over. Get your point out.
I was going to talk about the.
Oh, I took it from you.
Yeah, no, that
My
that was
bad.
the only, because aside from that, if you want to talk about who has the best defense in the league, yeah, no, like the entire second half, they did not score. We kept them to under 13 points, and we took 10 minutes off the clock in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they did exactly what I was saying.
That's not necessarily a defensive prop, but like
Oh yeah, no. It's a strategy thing. Like I was saying earlier, they decided to use their passing game in the first half to rest Barkley a little bit, but especially when he popped his knee real hard. Minka Fitzpatrick smacked him up. They decided to rest him, and then in the second half, they just let him take over the entire football game, and it worked.
Yeah.
Not really a whole hell of a lot else to say about that. I mean, it was a great strategy decision on the part of the coaching staff. Another thing, real quick, now that I brought up the coaching staff, I want to just say, seeing Nick Sirianni go after Jalen Carter after that bonehead play, I'm not as into it, actually. And let me explain why, because this seems a little counterintuitive to how I normally approach this, but when it comes to a player like Jalen Carter, who his entire job is literally to be aggressive, and if he slows down a little bit on that aggression or tries to tame it, you might lose the edge of what makes him so good. So screaming and yelling at him about one bonehead play, I get it that you got to scream and yell at him, right? Wait until you're in the locker room or the film room throughout the week. You don't got to scream and yell at him right there on the field, because if he takes it the wrong way, you have a non-aggressive Jalen Carter taking up a half of the D line, and he is a crucial part of the plan when it comes to their defense. If you tame him too much, it's going to be trouble. So I think from a coaching decision, I have to say Sirianni needs to roll himself back a little bit in that situation and handle it in the film room after the game. We don't need to see him screaming and yelling at him like that on the field in that situation. You got to be careful with managing these players' expectations and things like that because, dude, I'm telling you, if you tame him 1% his aggression, you might not have the same star player that you already have. You might just have to accept the fact that he's going to do some boneheaded shit every now and then.
Yeah, but we can't though.
You
'Cause
can.
That could have put them. That
In a
could have
real
put.
bad situation, yeah. And that's
That
going to
could have.
happen every time he does something boneheaded like that. But the other things that he does while he's on the field kind of make up for it. Like I said, you can yell at him in private after the game in the locker room. You don't got to do it on the side of the field when you need him at his most aggressive.
Oh, there was this other point that I wanted to ask, and maybe you know more about it.
God damn.
What the fuck happened there at the very beginning, where they put Big Play Slay in the they blocked him out of bound. Like, what the fuck was that?
That was called a personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. No. So did you see the angle of that from behind? Like a fan recorded it in the stands. It's going viral right now. Did you see that angle? Dude,
No.
Slay does nothing except try to throw up a little bit of a block on the guy. This motherfucker grips him under the shoulder pads like this and just pushes him into the wall. Like, he literally pushes him like 25 yards.
Yeah, he pushes him out of the end zone into the wall.
Into the wall. And you can hear Slay screaming, "Yo, chill, dude! Yo!" the whole time. And he slams his back over the wall. And then Slay smacks him upside the head and they start going at it with each other. And then, so listen, I understand why he did it and what was going on. But then number 80 on the Steelers, he smacks the shit out of Darius Slay. Okay? Like, I mean, smacks the shit out of him right in the head. And then Quinyon Mitchell sees it and runs up from behind the guy and, like, fucking body slams his ass. And that's when the whole team got together in a scuffle. And they were fucking with each other. And it's really funny, actually. You see Jalen Carter walk in behind the Eagles and start getting in there, and all the Steelers are like, "Yeah, I'm good." And they just start walking away. It was great. And because of that, the Steelers drew 2 unnecessary roughness penalties on 1 play. So that's what was going on there, is that number 80, I believe, for the Steelers manhandled Darius Slay. Like, I mean, I'm very surprised after watching that on replay and seeing what the refs probably saw on the field. I'm really surprised that they didn't just outright eject the guy the second that it happened. Because normally that's just a get the fuck out of here if you do something like that. So I was really surprised that they didn't eject the guy right off rip. Or did you have a more specific question?
No, I just, like, I remember, like, looking away. I look back. There's a scrum on the
And they're beating the shit out of each other, yeah.
on TV. I saw an angle from the goalpost camera where the Steelers just pushing him out of the end zone.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why are you doing this? Why are you giving yourself a foul?
Because he's an asshole.
Like, yeah, I guess, but like, god damn, brother.
Yeah, that was bad. That was like really egregious.
Like,
You don't see
I
those
said
a whole
alt.
lot anymore.
You know what it reminded me
Huh.
of? You remember The Blind Side, the movie?
I've never seen it.
Oh, you never saw. Okay, so in Michael Orr's like I think first or second game, one of the other team, the opposing team, they're like bad mouthing him because he's
Hmm.
black, and,
And
and
he's
at one
Michael
point,
Orr.
yeah, at one point, like he just takes him and just pushes him
And
across the
honestly,
end
yeah, you're
zone,
kind of right. I've seen that
and
scene.
pushes him over the fence, and the refs are like, what? Why are we flagging him? I don't know. Excessive blocking.
Yeah. I mean, the Eagles, to make a long story short, every single phase of the game, they dominated the Steelers.
Yeah, and I wanna bring this up. What are our chances of getting the number one seed?
It's very
Because
low.
it's like I've looked at the tiebreakers, right?
Lions have a
The
tiebreaker over us right now.
I know, and so like
Technically speaking, the Vikings have a tiebreaker on us as well.
well, the do they have a game up on us in the division, a conference rather.
It's the conference, yeah.
They don't have well. They're about to have They're about to have our same score in the conference tonight. They're sitting at 6-2.
Yeah. It's rough. But they got 2 on us in the conference.
No, we
Because
have
we
one on
lost to the
them.
Buccaneers and the Falcons. Oh, another thing. The Vikings have officially clinched.
Oh yeah.
Took them long enough with an 11-2 record.
Well, it's all thanks to Green Bay, who didn't even clinch. That's the craziest part.
It's so
Like
sad.
the Vikings,
The poor
not only did
Packers.
not only did the Vikings like need a division rival to clinch their playoff spot for them, the Packers didn't even clinch their own playoff spot.
No.
It's rough, man.
It's so sad. Like, as the Packers, that's got to be a huge blow to your ego.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
they could still get a wild card though.
Yeah, they can get a wild card, but it's like you you didn't clinch a playoff berth, and you gave you gave a division rival their playoff berth like that. That's just feels
How it
bad.
is. That is how it is. But I
Yeah.
mean, all right. Here's the thing. I don't think the Vikings are anywhere near as good as their record suggests. The same way that I don't feel like the Lions are anywhere near as good as their record suggests. I'm going to be bold on this one and say that the Vikings might lose to the Bears tonight.
You're fucking crazy.
They almost did the first time they played.
I guess.
Those wily Bears are out here to get them. And yeah, that's right. I said wily.
I mean, if they did if they did lose today to the Bears, we then have a game up on them in the conference.
Yeah, it'd be
If
great
we
for us.
Yeah, no, it'd be absolutely great if we win out and the Lions lose one game. Like,
Yeah, I'd be
if
down for that.
we're not going to if the if we lose even one game, might as well kiss the number one seed goodbye.
Oh, we have to win out. There's no choice.
Yeah. We have to win
Unless
out.
the Lions just start losing games. But I don't really see that happening.
Yeah,
It's going to be a bloodbath till the end.
they get the Bears next week, and the 49ers, and then the Vikings to close out.
Yeah. Honestly, that that last game of the season might determine that division.
Yeah.
Like, if the Lions lose one game here down the stretch, that's going to determine the division, that last game.
Yeah.
And you never want the last game of the season determining the division.
The Vikings have to play Green Bay in like 2 weeks too.
Uh-huh. Isn't that great? So, before you can jump in and take it from me, Saints are my fraud watch. Did you watch the end of that fucking game?
I've yet to actually like look at the highlights.
You don't need to. Watch the last play of the game. That's the only thing you gotta see from the entire game to justify this fraud watch.
Let me see.
Not that the Saints were good to begin with, so it's not like they're on fraud watch, they're just straight up frauds. But like, brother, Maroons. They threw.
Alright.
For our viewers who didn't
Alright,
see it, let me
17.
describe the situation. They score a touchdown, okay? To bring the game. 2019, the Commanders are up by 1 point, okay? There is now officially 0 seconds in the fourth quarter on the clock. They only have time to go for the point after or a 2-point conversion. They choose to go for a 2-point conversion with 0 time on the clock, down by 1 point. I'm going to need a rocket scientist, a 12-pack of beer, and a couple of strippers to help this make sense. You want to explain that one to me, Mark?
Alright, I just watched it.
Yeah, pathetic, huh?
Yeah.
They threw.
Man, it's like, why not just take your chances in overtime?
They had to have been losing on purpose. There's no other explanation.
Get that draft capital.
Yeah, that has to be what it is. But that's not okay. You're not allowed to do that. It's against the rules. Like, seriously, the Saints might get fined for it.
I don't think they were trying to lose. I think they were trying to win.
No, I don't know how you're watching that game and think they were trying to win.
I mean, there's probably there's an argument to be made that if you like,
Don't start.
Don't start.
Don't start with your foolishness. Fuck them Saints. Morons. And another thing, the Dolphins really fell off this season, man. Like,
Yeah.
bro, I'm sorry, the Texans ain't that good. The Dolphins should have won that fucking game. Crazy. But I think one of the big highlights of this week is that the Buccaneers are starting to get real hot going into the playoffs here. Please,
That's not good.
for the love of God, do not let the Eagles play the Buccaneers in the playoffs. I am sitting here getting flashbacks from every single time we've had to play those motherfuckers in the playoffs. It never works well for the Eagles. Ever. It's never good when we have to play the Buccaneers in the playoffs, and I don't want it. I don't like them. And if they beat us in the playoffs again, they will have created a mortal enemy in the Fumble forecast. And they don't want that smoke. But yeah, I mean, oh god, there's. All right, let's be real. The real game of the week this week ended up being the Bills-Lions. That game was crazy, and I will sit here and very proudly flex a little about how I was one of the only people that thought the Bills would win. I will sit here and flexulate the muscles because I saw it coming, man. Josh Allen is literally breaking records this season, left, right, and center. He now holds the touchdown record for quarterbacks under the age of 30. Like, ever. And somehow it doesn't have a Super Bowl appearance yet. Fucking hell.
Oof.
Well, it's true. How are you going to be a record-setting fucking quarterback and not have a single Super Bowl appearance? It's the only stat that really matters. It is. So, yeah, I don't know, man. But here's a question I wanted to pose to you, little Marky. If the Lions don't win this season, is the window closed for them? They've had like a 3-year window now.
I think it really depends on what the contracts look like.
Yeah, sure.
If
Goff ain't getting younger, though.
Goff ain't getting younger. But if Goff, Amon-Ra.
Well, Amon-Ra ain't going nowhere.
If their contracts are up for renewal at the end of the season, which I don't think they are, because I haven't heard anything about it. Like, then I would be concerned for really them winning. But I think they maybe have one more year. They need. I don't see them winning, to be completely honest, this year, because I feel like they're just going to be hounded by injuries on the
Jared
defense.
Goff is in the final year of his contract.
Oh, well, there you go.
This article is a little bit older, though, so. But Jared Goff is good. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery are good. Apparently, they have a person in their running back reserves named Jake Funk. I just thought that was really funny. Let's see, for wide receiver, Amon-Ra's contract ends this year.
Oh, well.
And Peoples-Jones's contract ends this year. Jamison Williams and Khalif Raymond, they're the other wide receivers. Their contracts end next year. What else do we got? Well, they're good on tight end for multiple years. Dude, their O-line, so 3 of their offensive tackles end this year. And then for the interior O-line, they're losing one guy at the end of this year, unless he resigns. On the D-line, Aleem McNeil ends this season. He's like one of their starters. Aiden Hutchinson is good until next year. So that's good. John Kaminsky at the end of this year. Marcus Davenport at the end of this year. Derek Barnes at the end of this year. They got a lot of contracts coming up, is the long and short of it. At the end of this season, they have a lot of starters. That bit, like I said, though, I don't know if they've handled these contracts since this was written at the start of the season. So I'm not sure if they've fixed it since then.
Yeah.
But like, dude, Jared Goff and Amon-Ra, they're gonna be huge losses, and 3 of your tackles. That's big, dude. O-line is important.
Yeah.
So I don't know, dude. They're if they don't re-sign at least half of those players, they're gonna be really closing the door on themselves here.
No, I agree.
But at the same time, you can't pay everybody.
No, I know.
So what I'm expecting is that they'll probably keep 1 or 2 of those linemen, and they'll definitely keep Goff and Amon-Ra. There's no way they dump Amon-Ra. If they dump Amon-Ra, I'm done. Like, the Lions are cooked. I'm done. They're a trash can org. I'll put them in the same category as the Saints at that point.
Honestly.
Back to being a 3-win team with you. But there was another topic that I wanted to talk about before we got more into our playoff stuff. I think we might have a new reigning king for worst division in football. I think the NFC West might be the new worst division in football. They're terrible. Like they're really bad. They might, like, the winner of the division might have 9 wins. I mean, the same thing with the NFC South. They're competing for last place. Let me put it to you like that. It's bad, dude. It's real bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. The AFC South is so bad, though.
They had such promise at the beginning of the year.
Well, not really.
Well,
And you know what? I gotta say, the Seahawks are starting to slip more and more into the fraud category as the days go on. We were talking about how they had just a solid grip on that division only a few weeks ago, and now we're sitting here like, are these guys gonna make the playoffs? Should they put in their backup QB? What are we doing here? They're a real head scratcher of a team.
yeah.
Hate it. Hate to see it.
And if it continues like this, they're gonna miss the playoffs.
Well, they're currently tied for the division leader with the Rams, but the Rams have the tiebreaker. So that's why the Rams are leading the division right now. But that means that if the Rams win out, the Seahawks miss the playoffs no matter what they do. So, yeah. I mean, there's no chance that the Seahawks will get a wild card spot. That'll go to either the Commanders and the Packers, you know. I guess they technically could get the 3rd wild card. I forgot there were 3 now.
Well, currently the 3 wild cards are.
Yeah, but come on.
Well, I mean, 2 of the wild card right now are held by NFC North teams.
Yeah. They clinched.
Well, only one of them's clinched. Only 1 wild card spot is clinched.
No, the Eagles clinched, the Lions clinched, and the Vikings clinched.
Wild
They've
card.
all clinched a playoff berth, which means they at least have clinched a wild card. Playoff berth means you're guaranteed a wild card no matter what happens. But obviously the Lions or the Vikings will win their division, so that opens up one of the extra slots. And the Eagles will probably win their division, so that's 2. So yeah, no, there's a very high likelihood the Seahawks might just straight up miss the playoffs. After a very promising start to the season, too, might I say. I was kind of, if you guys don't remember, I was kind of high on the Seahawks starting this season. I was rooting for them, but I mean, hey, it's how the cookie crumbles, I guess. But something else I want to highlight. Normally, we're talking about how great the AFC is, right? Not this season. This season, like, 7 of the top 10 draft picks are going to end up being AFC teams. It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
Like, dude, they got the Browns, the Raiders, the Jets, the Patriots, the Jags, and the Titans. And then the Dolphins and Colts. So, potentially 8 of the top 10 picks, maybe.
Yeah.
Wild.
It's amazing how that division only has like 3 or 4 good teams in it.
Which one?
The AFC.
Oh, the
Conference.
AFC, the conference. I was like, what division? What do you mean? I was like,
Yeah.
division with 3 or 4 good teams. That sounds like a great division.
Nah.
I gotta say, though, too, the fucking Bengals have fallen off, brother. Like, I feel bad for the Bengals.
I saw a clip from the game where apparently, I don't know how much of it is true, but people were reading it as the coach of the Bengals was upset that they scored there at the end because apparently they think that he and the Titans coach were friends and he didn't want to, like, quote unquote,
Fuck 'em.
embarrass him. And I'm like, if this is true, how does this man have a job at the end of the season?
That's actually really common. You'd be surprised. I think it's stupid, but it's really common.
That's really dumb.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Also, so NFL adjacent news. I don't think you heard this, Mark, or know about this, but Bill Belichick has a job now.
No, I know. I heard about this.
He's now the head coach of UNC. Can you imagine that motherfucker doing scouting with, like, trying to sign students to the school? He's gonna be like, yeah, come here or don't, go fuck yourself. I don't really care. Fuck you. 5 stars up my ass. I don't give a shit. It's gonna be a rough 4 years or 5 years for UNC. I don't think he's gonna do very well at the personnel management. But hey, who knows? Nobody thought he would win 6 Super Bowls either. So, but yeah, another thing, my playoff bracket has been forced to be wrong now. The Steelers are now mathematically unable to achieve the number 1 seed. It is no longer a possibility. And I'm pretty sure that... Now, the Bills are still technically in it, but let's be real here. The Bills aren't actually in the race for the first seed anymore. The Chiefs are going to win the rest of their games.
Yeah, which is bullshit.
They're going to beat the Texans. Well, they might lose to the Steelers and Broncos. Maybe.
Yeah, but the Bills need to win out.
Yeah, the Bills would have to win out, and the
yeah,
Chiefs would
no.
need to win. Would need to lose
No.
too.
It's not even a question that the Bills will win. They have Patriots into Jets into Patriots.
Yeah.
The
Bills could still get the number 1 seed, but I really think it's more likely the Chiefs will.
If the Bills get the number 1 seed, I will feel so vindicated.
Well, you'd have nailed it on the head.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, the Chiefs could lose out, and the Steelers could win out, and technically, they they could still get the number 1 seed, technically. Because since they have a head-to-head game, if the Chiefs lose out and the Steelers win out, the Steelers would have the tiebreaker. So technically, it's still possible. But I find it very unlikely. But it's too late. We've already locked in our brackets at this point. So, I don't know. Steelers Nation. They lost the only game I wanted them to. So, upcoming tonight, we have 2 games, Marquis. We have the Bears Vikings and we have the Falcons Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty easy to pick who's going to win these 2 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be Bears Raiders winning these. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows it.
Yeah.
But in all reality, the Bears and the Raiders are eliminated. It's impossible for them to even get wild card slots, especially them stinky ass Raiders who will probably get the first overall pick. I do, however, think that the Bears have a legitimate chance to beat the Vikings tonight. They don't like each other. I think they will play just because the Bears don't like the Vikings. They will play extra hard. But in the case of the Falcons Raiders, on the other hand, those teams don't give a fuck about each other. And the Falcons are still playing for their division / a wild card slot. So the Falcons will show up to play, but the Raiders, they might lose on purpose. Like, I don't even know if they should play their starters, the Raiders. Who knows? You never know. You're one ACL tear away from not starting next season well. At this point. So, I don't know. I'm thinking that the Vikings and the Falcons are probably going to win tonight, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was Bears-Falcons. What are you thinking, Marky?
I'm in agreement.
Yeah, okay.
There's...
I see no universe where the Raiders win.
Yeah.
But I've been wrong in the past. Maybe the Raiders will have the best game of their season tonight. 57-0.
I swear to God.
Max Crosby has 6 touchdowns by himself, strip sacks. That'd be wild. Put $1 bet on that one right now, boys. But yeah, I think it's time to move on to looking at week 16. So,
All right.
What is your game of the week, little Marky? Because I gotta tell you, for me, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I gotta hit you with that Denver Liquid LA.
Yeah, that's mine. The Broncos Chargers is my game of the week, definitely. They're both still playing for playoff contention. They're both pretty decent. However, I give a heavy edge to the Broncos in that game. We will protect Bo Nix at all costs. He is sacred to us. And I think that the Broncos run away with that one. 32-14.
Okay. There's
Or sorry,
some
33. 33-14.
There's also some other interesting games, of course. Houston and KC.
That's not interesting. Steelers-Ravens is going to be another really good game. They're going to get the fight to see who wins the division, pretty much. Effectively. Oh, and this is going to be so great. I took off of work starting on this Friday, the 20th. So I'm going to get to watch all the football.
And yeah, we have a full weekend.
A whole week
of football.
Yeah. The only day that there's not a game is Tuesday and Saturday.
I thought there was a game on Saturday. Oh, no, that's next week. That's next week for Christmas. No, there is a Saturday game.
Where? I don't see the Saturday game on the schedule.
It's the Steelers. It's the Steelers Ravens at 4:30.
That's
And
Saturday? Oh yeah, you're
as
right.
is
Yeah, and the
the
Kansas City game.
yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's Tuesday and Friday that we don't have a game.
Yeah, and then next week.
But I think next week we got Friday, right? We got a Friday coming up soon.
Yeah, and week 7, Christmas week, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Who the fuck came up with this shit? Oh man.
I don't fucking know, man.
Dude, after this Friday, I am off until the playoffs start.
Nice.
This is gonna be sick. I'm now measuring my PTO in football weeks. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for the Christmas games this year. I think they're gonna be very, very good games. Like, especially the Chiefs Steelers. That game is gonna be fucking premium. They might be playing for the conference. Well, let me, Mark, what do you think? Can the Texans beat the Chiefs?
I want to say yes, but
Is it humanly possible?
It's humanly possible, but thanks to Satan, they won't.
Well, you never know, dude, because here's my prediction for the script for this NFL season, okay? So, I don't know if you know this or not, Mark, but Patrick Mahomes probably isn't going to play that game. He's been injured. He has a high ankle sprain. His eligibility for that game is unclear as of right now. Second of all, their backup quarterback is the once renowned Carson Wentz of Philadelphia Eagles fame. I think they want Carson Wentz, who, so just for clarity here, so we get the storyboard correct. 2017, we're rewinding a little bit here. Carson Wentz goes down with a leg injury in week 13. Okay? Nick Foles takes over. Eagles win the Super Bowl. Carson Wentz becomes disgraced over the next 2 years. He gets banished from Philadelphia. When we needed him most, he vanished. And then, eventually, I lost my camera. There we are. And then, eventually, he works his way to the backup position in Kansas City. Andy Reid's going to sprinkle some quarterback magic on him. Takes over for Patrick Mahomes after leaving week 14. You see where I'm going with this? Is Carson Wentz going to win a Super Bowl for the Kansas City Chiefs? I'm not going to lie to you. I will lose my fucking shit if Carson Wentz beats the Eagles for a Super Bowl. I will get a pitchfork out of my garage and run down the streets naked. I will lose my mind if Carson Wentz wins them a Super Bowl. Just to be clear here, I had, for many years, a Carson Wentz drink coaster on my desk. I had a Carson Wentz pennant that I had hanging in my room. I have a little mini Carson Wentz that I was awarded by my grandmother for Christmas one year. I was a huge Carson Wentz man. If he defeats the Eagles for a Super Bowl, burning some of that shit with hot red fire. Man's red fire will be burning him. Okay? I will be furious. I'm just saying, that's my script prediction. What do you think?
I hope you're wrong.
Me too, but I never am. In all seriousness, though, Patrick Mahomes was fucking crawling off the field after that injury yesterday. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He was literally on his knees crawling to the sideline. It was bad. And I'm pretty sure it's the same leg that was injured in 2 years ago in the playoffs against the Bengals. I'm pretty sure it's the same leg, same injury. So we might be seeing a him breaking down here.
Here's hoping.
No!
Never want that on any player.
He's the best quarterback in football, and you just have to deal with it. You have to just sit there and be sad about it. Fuck that. But yeah, he really hurt his leg bad. It looked really bad. But who the fuck knows? That dude might just he might just jump right back in and skibbity it up. What in tarnation is happening to my computer monitor? Ah! I don't think I have anything else for this past week. What about you, Lil Mark?
No. Birds are the best team in the league.
Not close either. I can now very confidently say that the Eagles are the single best team in football. Until the scriptwriters get their hands on Carson Wentz. Oh, Jesus, dude. The paranormal snacktivity is getting into my monitor. Look at my camera.
Oh, Lord, no.
that's what's happening with... It's like what is it? They're here. But yeah, so that's all we got for you guys this week. Thanks for joining us on the Fumble Forecast. Let me turn this fucking shit off. Well, we're done the Fumble Forecast for the week, week 15. And remember, subscribe/follow on any platform where you get your podcast, so long as it's Spotify or YouTube. And have a fantastic week. Go Birds. They're the best team in football right now. And I think that's everything. Oh, yeah. Remember to share us with a friend. I promise it'll be cool and not cringe. Bye, everybody.
Right.